This is going to be a film study look at Ronald Darby, the Ravens' newest free agent signing, a veteran corner who's actually from Maryland, Super Bowl champion with the Eagles, I believe, in 2017. Been around the league, suffered an ACL injury last year. I'll be honest with you, I only studied one game. What I wanted to study was the Week 4 game from 2022, before he was injured, obviously, because it was an ACL tear against the Las Vegas Raiders. But I'm having a lot of trouble with NFL Plus right now and can't get film that I want. So I had to settle for something that I already had, which was the 49ers loss to the Broncos, I think in week 3 of last year, 2022. In the first 4 weeks of the season, 2022, Ronald Darby played 100% of the snaps for the Broncos. I think he was off the field for 2 snaps. I will be honest with you, like you can see on this picture frame here that you've got, he's number 21. The film that I'm getting ready to show you, he's number 23. So there's another guy named Williams who was number 21. So hope to God that I don't give you the wrong number guy. But in any case, if you get the same guy that I see on film here, he honestly looks pretty solid. I think he's versatile in coverage. Again, I know he's coming back off an injury, but I'm just going to go off the film that I've seen. Perhaps he's better in zone or read coverages, but I'm looking at a small sample size. I did have like 6 other plays, that I looked at from other games, but not enough to really go off of. Not bad in man at all. In no way, shape, or form am I saying he's bad in man, but to me, he sticks out in zone and read coverages as an outside corner, playing with outside leverage, reading the release of two. And I think that might be the reason why the Ravens got him, because that's a lot of the things the Ravens do anyway. And I believe that when Marlon Humphrey comes back, if you've got a healthy Ronald Darby, a healthy Marlon Humphrey, and a healthy Rock Ya-Sin, 3, I guess, various levels of question marks there, but 3 healthy versions of those guys is a pretty good group, if you ask me. Very smart, plays with great leverage. You could probably say, "Hey, coach, this is one game. How can you give me an evaluation?" I'm giving you the best evaluation I can. It may fit with your evaluation and the evaluation of others. I was trying to get this done because my Friday is going to be super busy, so I'm recording this late Thursday night. I think he's got great recognition on screens, on route switches, on formations, in terms of what types of routes come from those formations. I think he's really good in space in coverage. 5'11", like 195. So not a huge guy, in my opinion. I think he could be a big asset if healthy. Let me give you some advanced stats, and I don't usually quote a whole lot of these for real because I want to give you my organic impression of the film, which obviously leaves the possibility that I'm wrong, or that I'm 10, 15% wrong, because I'm only giving you my observations from the film. But in this case, I wanted to go look at some of the advanced stats because I was like, "What? This guy played pretty well, from what I saw, especially against the 49ers. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, the run threats that they have there. I don't think he's great against blockers, tight ends, fullbacks to get out to him. I don't think he's great against that. I think he's more of a coverage guy, but he's willing to tackle, and I'll show you 2 examples of it in this film. Advanced stats from 2022. 7 of 18 completions in terms of when he was targeted. So 39% completion percentage, 73 yards total in his 4.5 games played. I'm going to separate this film into zone, man, and then communication. Now, I will tell you that you're going to hear me flipping through papers because I'm trying to get this finished before 1 a.m., so I can upload it and get it out on Friday morning. So we'll look at zone first, and he should be spot shadowed at the beginning of each play. So you're gonna hear me flipping through papers, to be honest with you here. This is a 2nd and 7, first possession, again, week 3 against the 49ers in 2022, pre-ACL injury. I think this game, 5 targets, gave up 2 catches. He's at right corner, and it's a zone relationship. I think he's playing like maybe he's the half side in quarter half, so he's in the flats, and then these 2 is quarter and quarter, but there's no work over here for Surtain, and then that would leave obviously this safety as the halves guy. That's the quarter half. But in any case, he's the flat defender, I believe, into a 2 side, and then he's got to come up. Now he misses the tackle here. That's the reality, but he misses the tackle on the correct side. What that means is he's the outside guy. In a cover 2 scheme, you're technically the force player on outside run or anything like that to your side if you're the cover 2 corner. This is basically like, a late throw out into the flats. Deebo Samuel's difficult to tackle. So I'm not going to say that the guy we just picked up who's available in mid-August should be judged harshly because he's not tackling Deebo Samuel one-on-one out in open space, but he does force Deebo Samuel back inside, where a third and then fourth teammate finally finishes off the play. All right, another zone example. He's up at the top of the screen. I think he's going to make a tackle here. That's why I actually put this one in here. This is end of the first possession or near the end of the first possession. 49ers did this a lot, this stacked twins alignment. Okay, and again, you're going to hear me flipping through papers, so forgive me for that. He's going to make the tackle on the outside. I think his tandem, the other safety, should be taken on the block on the outside. My apologies, I went back too far. So I believe this guy's going to take on the block on the inside, and then Darby's kind of left on the outside here, and he's got to turn the ball back inside. But there's almost a two-way go for the guy. You can see it's to the field. So I'm talking about right here. I believe this defender should be. Imagine what Kyle Hamilton does to this. And I'm not insulting this guy's NFL football player, but what does Kyle Hamilton do to this lead block? He literally is going to take this guy on a freight train ride backwards at that angle towards this part of the screen, and Darby's going to be responsible for the outside of that block destruction. And then this inside linebacker 47, who's really underrated, is going to be on the inside of it. So your 3-on-2 is going to work. We would always say 3-on-2 on perimeter stuff. Force player, inside out, alley player. In my opinion, that safety, nickel safety, goes on the inside, leaves Darby out there all alone pretty much, and he makes the tackle. It's a shoestring tackle, but he makes the tackle. So you saw two examples there of him having to make tackles, and in one case he did, in one case he did not. Okay, stacked twins. Not really sure this belongs in the zone segment, but you're going to basically get a screen by Deebo Samuel on his man, and then Ayuk is going to go underneath, and Darby is left with no one to guard. I have said since the Ravens played the Broncos in 2021 that I felt there was communication problems with stuff in the secondary. I don't know if it's because they try to do so much. I don't know if it's the players on the field. I don't think Justin Simmons played in this game, but I said it in 2021, and I know everybody worships everything that Vic Fangio does, and he invented all these things, whatever. I see evidence of it in this game, and I'm going to talk about it with the last play I show you in terms of communication. Is it on Ronald Darby? I don't think so. I'm not sure who it's on, but in any case, they didn't defend that at all. It was 2-on-2, and they didn't defend it at all. So there you go. All right, second possession, 1st and 10. He's down here at the bottom. Again, you're going to hear me flipping through the papers for a second, so my apologies. He's beat backside on this slant. It's an under, but the safety doesn't play it well either, for real. So when I say the safety, I mean you're getting, the block by this left tackle, whatever you want to call it. But it ain't like the left tackle's working this way. So the safety's getting like a clear run block read or anything. I guess I should have showed you the end zone angle of this. But this safety and all these guys for the Broncos, they're always locked in on the quarterback. We're Ravens fans. You probably remember first play of the fourth quarter, 2021, up there. We ran our little QB sweep pass. All three DBs, I should say, to that side. All of their eyes were in the backfield. Mark Andrews caught a touchdown, like 39 yards. Would have been basically a knockout blow. But if you remember, it was a hold called on the backup left tackle, so it didn't stand. But what's my point? Teams know that the safeties for the Broncos and Fangio, whoever he's with the Dolphins, that they're going to stare in the backfield. And this is an example of, Darby's beat to the inside. I think he's releasing him inside, to be honest with you. But their eyes are so heavy in the backfield at safeties. I feel like on some of those routes like that, they can't help out the corner. All right, third possession, 2nd and long. And this is going to get a true zone relationship. It's completed over the top. It's like the deep in route. And Darby's just playing on the outside leverage. And the quarterback, I would say this is, a two-side again for him. So, projecting him with the Ravens, are we going to be in a lot of zone match coverages? Yes, we are. I think we are. And this ball is, this vertical is threatening this safety over here, who, again, is not Simmons. I don't think he played that week in 2022. And then it fits the deep end to number one. That's not his job to defend that. for real. It's not. Nice throw by Jimmy G. I mean, like, some people call it an anticipation throw because he's throwing it, before the guy gets to the spot in the zone. I mean, look, the ball's out, and this receiver hasn't cleared this defender at all. Like a deep curl defender is what it looks like to me. I feel like he's good with outside leverage, and I would trust him in those situations. All right, last one for our zone segment. I think he's going to be quarter, half. I think he's to the half side, so he's going to be responsible for the flats. I think he's to the stressed side in the half. So I think you've got, quarter, and then this is the half defender. And then I think he's the flat defender, and you can see the hook defender is on the hash there. Whereas these two guys are flat and then hook to curl, in my opinion. So I think you've got a good example of quarter, half, or, people are going to call it cover 6 like it's not been around for 30 years, but that's another issue. In any case, zone relationship, eyes on the quarterback, going to try to funnel the receiver in if he's to the true half side or true cover 2 side. Make the quarterback throw the ball over top of him. Last one, actually, for the zone. I don't know which one this one is. My apologies. A 3rd and 9. You got another stack twins. Yeah, and they're trying to do the same concept they did down on the goal line. They're basically going to run a little screen to Deebo Samuel. It's not a screen like with a pulling lineman, but this guy is really screening is what he is. It's a downfield screen, but there's no contact made in terms of the block until Deebo catches the football. Nice play by 47, and then somebody finishes him off. I mean, Darby's not getting involved here. I can't look. It's one game. I can't get into too much of, he's not a tackler. I mean, if I was to make one impression, you gave me one look, I'd say he looks a little bit more like a cover corner than a guy who's going to come up and hit a lot. But hey, man, who knows? He's a veteran guy, and he plays hard, and he's got a lot of experience in big games. All right, so man coverage stuff. 2nd and 10, first possession. It's going to be a bunch to his side. So you got the bunch to his side here. You're going to get an in cut by number 1, which I think is Deebo. Pretty good coverage by him. Now look, there's a linebacker underneath of this as well. This linebacker right here is going to get in the window, but this is where Jimmy G is looking. I'm not giving you the end zone angle and trying to expedite this to be real, but you can see Jimmy G's looking right here in the middle of the field. The only route coming there is Deebo Samuel. It's not like he's going to look there to try to look off the free safety and then come back to this other in-breaking route to the other side of the field. He's looking to go to Deebo Samuel, and I think you've got nice coverage by Darby, and he's got help underneath with number 50. As it stands, incomplete, over to the other side. All right, second possession, 3rd and 9. And again, I think we got a man situation here. He knows he has safety help. They're going to get motion over to his side. I think he's going to look good in these situations when he's got safety help over the top. At first, when I watched this, I was like, man, he wasn't getting any pedal at all. He wasn't. I think this is Brandon Ayuk, if I can pronounce his name correctly. I was like, how's he dealing with that in terms of he's not getting off at all. He's not turning and ready to go. By the way, his baseball turn is spectacular. I'm not going to show it in this video, but I saw his baseball turn twice, and I was like, man, he's smooth. So there's the first down marker, the yard to gain, and I think here's the line of scrimmage up here. Actually, it's 3rd and 9, my bad. But with safety help over the top, I feel like he's a guy who's savvy enough to know where the sticks are, the yard to gain. And I feel like he's a guy that we could trust. Against the number 1, the big question everybody's going to ask is, can he guard Jamar Chase? Well, nobody can guard Jamar Chase. Not man-to-man, not with no help over the top. All right, 3rd and 3, third possession. And it's going to be an empty bunch situation. He takes the tight end man. I think this is an example of the miscommunication I'm talking about. Now, there will be some who will say, well, Coach, this is because Simmons didn't play. Man, I've seen this with the Broncos for the last 2 or 3 years, even when Fangio was there. I mean, this guy's wide open. Our boy Darby's down here against the tight end. He's fine. But it's a bunch situation. They appear to be playing man. I like how he jumps through here. He's going to jump through two people. This is the third time I've seen him do this. He seems to understand routes and where they're going to go. But in any case, I think that's Deebo Samuel wide open. And you can see this safety, number 30. He knows he's beat. He's trailing. Ball should be thrown there. Deebo Samuel looks pretty pissed off after the play. But Darby looks good. He's covering a tight end there. So, obviously some people are going to say, well, of course he looks good. He's covering a tight end. All right, you got a 1st and 10 on the 4th possession. And this one kind of bothers me. This will be the one that I will talk about in terms of miscommunication. Darby's down here to the bottom, all right? That's Deebo Samuel spot shadowed up there. So I think you've got a version of like 11 personnel where the only back on the field is the fullback. And then Deebo's on. I mean, how do you treat him? Do you treat him like a running back? No. Do you treat him like a receiver? Well, sure, you do. He is a receiver. What happens when they put him in the backfield and they isolate your boundary side inside linebacker? Well, you get beat. Here's my point. What I was talking about earlier, communication. How is this not being communicated? How are they allowing 47, who again I think is a spectacular football player, very underrated. I think he intercepted Patrick Mahomes twice in one game last year. How are they, the Broncos defenders on the field, allowing this to happen? That's a mismatch. This is basically man on the backside on one, man on the backside with the running back. I hate to talk like this, but the great Bill Belichick defenses, the Giants, talking about the 86 Giants, the Giants team that beat the Bills, the Patriots defenses, the good, really good ones, they're going to chip this guy coming out of the backfield. I mean, his path is such, he's not 5 yards away from that edge rusher. I've always felt like communication is an issue and something that people could take advantage of against this Broncos team. But hey, they do play great defense there, and they do hold teams down. They certainly came to Baltimore and held us down last year. But in any case, Darby, our guy, is guarding the fullback here. He's going to look good there, obviously. It's man. Big completion of Deebo Samuel. Doesn't have anything to do with Darby necessarily, but I think the communication in Baltimore is better. I just really do. All right, so this is the first possession. Don't think I showed you this play. Communication. These guys are trying to communicate. Safeties. I mean, look at what you got. First possession. The ball is already out, and it's tipped. This is what the Broncos do in terms of jumping stuff. This safety is going to play the backside route. That's not uncommon. Plenty of people do that. I mean, we've done that before. But there's no communication to the front side guys over here, which Darby is one of them, and these two DBs is communicating. Watch what Darby does. He's going to jump the little flat route. Nobody takes the vertical. It's communication. I'm not blaming Darby. I'm not blaming this safety necessarily, or this one who's on the other side of the field. My point is, somewhere along the line, things aren't coordinated. Things aren't aligned. Darby was a part of that system, and I have felt for, the better part of 2.5 years, and I've gotten some flack for it. People saying, hey, Coach, you're wrong. Everything Fangio does works. It's perfect. It's been copied by everybody else across the NFL. All I know is I see situations like that where there's a possibility to make plays and safeties jumping stuff on the other side of the field while a guy's running up their seam. That alarms me. All right, last one. 1st and 10, very similar situation here in that you have Darby down here at the bottom side of the screen. I don't know that he's doing anything wrong, nor do I know who did anything wrong on the last play, but I know he jumps the flats. He basically pushes this receiver outside, not really respecting him. It's kind of similar to how Marcus Peters would play backs when they got out in the back, when they got out lined up wide. And you can see that, there's no safety help over the top here. This guy's almost, moving to the middle of the field. Ball's thrown backside. It's completed against number 30, the backup safety who I think is in there for Simmons. What does it mean for Darby? He's coming from a system that's well organized. I do think the defensive coordinator there last year in Denver did a nice job. I see 4 instances just in the first half of what I watched of miscommunication by the safeties. Is it a result of, this guy being on the field and Simmons not playing? I don't think so, because I saw the same things with Simmons on the field. In any case, I think Darby's a good fit for the Ravens system. I think having Marcus Williams, Kyle Hamilton, Geno Stone, guys that are familiar with the system, is going to help him. I will say this. I think he should play on the right side. Now, Marlon plays on the right side. To me, Darby looks better on the right side, but he looks pretty good on the left side, too. I saw his 2 baseball turns was from the left side. Baseball turn, maybe I'll post the video up or something so somebody can see it. Basically, it looks like you're getting, one route, and then you've got to flip your hips and turn back to the other side. He's smooth, very athletic. I think he's a good signing for this time period. I don't know that we could have done a whole lot better than Ronald Darby on August 17th or whenever he was signed, assuming that he is healthy. You guys let me know what you think. The film is not complete because we're only talking about one game. I tried to separate it for you. And the zone piece was, I think there was one in there for the zone piece that could have probably just been a match coverage. And then the one down on the goal line that was the stacked twins for a touchdown was probably really just man that those guys didn't switch off. I think he's a smart player, great signing. PG County is in Baltimore, so it's not necessarily a homecoming. PG County is more akin to D.C., so when he played for Washington a couple of years ago, that would have been, I guess, a little bit more of a homecoming. But this is a smart player. A great lineage of football from Potomac High School. Played with the Bills. Played with the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I think he was there one more year after that, maybe 2. Has moved around. I like the game. I like the player. I'm excited about the signing, for when we do get Marlon Humphrey back and Rock Ya-Sin, who's still not practicing apparently. But, for now, this guy looks like someone who can start for our team if he's fully healthy. You guys let me know what you think of the video. You probably have more information about Darby than I do. I limited it to just the advanced stats that I had and the film that I watched, which I'm admitting to you might be incomplete from the standpoint of there's other film out there to watch. If I could gather it and get a more complete view of it. So I'll try to do that in the next couple of days, do something a little quicker than 20 minutes. I appreciate you guys' time. If you think other Ravens fans would enjoy this video, please consider taking the link for it, putting it out on social media somewhere to help this content get more reach.